Hey XYZ fam!
We are actually on the road heading home, but we promised a video talking about how we budget and kind of how we manage our finances as a couple, the breakdown of it. Obviously we won't be sharing any particular figures, but we'll go into detail about kind of how we manage our expenses. This is something that is not proof or the proof. It's not foolproof. It's not foolproof because obviously we've just been married we've been married less than a year. So as we grow, as we evolve, things will change, but this is what works for us currently.
So if you're interested in this kind of content, come along with us!
A strong husband.
By the way, thanks for your help with the bag, babe.
Two little things in the supermarket, guys. How much they come?
$19,000. And look, we got baby wipes. Get it right, guys. This is for the car. We keep wipes in the car. Don't be thinking what you're thinking.
Yeah, so let's get into it. It won't be a long video. If this is the first video that you're seeing in our finance series, the foundation of this video is built on some principles that we hold very dear to our hearts, and we'll drop this video right here or somewhere on the screen, and you can go ahead and check that video out.
Yeah, I'll tell you about my money workflow, she'll tell you about her money workflow, and we'll tell you together what happens with our money. I guess we should probably start by saying that we do have money that is our money. We have money that is my money, and we have money that is her money.
Yeah. And
we keep it that way because I may want to spend my money on, what do I waste money on?
Spearfishing.
Yeah, I might want to go and spend money on fishing gear or on hunting gear, and then she may want to spend her money on a new handbag or go to the spa or buy a dress, none of which are inherently essential. And I mean, they're more like discretionary purchases that I may or may not agree with her purchases, she may or may not agree with my purchases as being a necessarily prudent use of money,
especially when you compare it to what we have to accomplish.
Alright, so when I get paid, the first thing I do is I take out my 10% that goes to God.
Yeah.
That is my tithe. That's the first thing I take out, non-negotiable. And then there is an automatic transfer from my account to our account.
Or joint account.
Or joint account, yeah. And that goes to our checking account. That's like our operational fund.
We literally call it XYZ operational fund. Because that's what we used to operate.
Yeah. And because I'm also contributing to a mandatory saving for a big thing that we have coming up, and we'll always, as the big thing changes, then maybe the amount will change, but we're always saving towards something big. So the money comes out now out of our checking account and goes to our savings account as my contribution to our joint big thing saving.
Right. That's your workflow?
So that's my workflow. So I get paid, take out my tithe, send certain amount to our joint checking account, then a certain portion comes out and goes into our savings account. The remaining portion in our joint operational fund is kind of my contribution to the household.
Which is majority.
Which is majority of what we use to...
Yeah. No, which is majority. I mean, he's the guy, you know. God never called me to be a provider. God called me to be a helpmate. You understand? Whatever he's left with, he does whatever he wants to do with it. Sometimes he will further invest, like as an individual. Sometimes he will buy things. And
to be honest, sometimes I'll put that money into some risky venture. Yeah. I'll buy some things with it and try to sell back. Yeah. To try flip it and make a little bit more money. Yeah. You know, risky things.
Xaundre is always doing stuff like that. Always coming up with something else to do with money. As one of my friends always say, one thing, you know, Xaundre, I gotta try. Always trying something. If there's an industry, possibly Xaundre has some money tied up in it. He has tried it. Let us not even start to talk about all the business ventures.
Hello, tell the people about your workflow.
Okay, so this is how my workflow goes. operational fund makes sure that I'm taken care of. You understand? The operational fund makes provision for Zara.
So, alright, we should probably stick a pin here and mention, right? When I got married to this lovely lady here, I found out that she is of the view that man must take care of woman.
Man must give woman money, like you never know that.
So me never know that before, you understand? So I learned that. But I'm obviously okay with it. This is the kind of stuff that we spoke about.
Need wife maintenance.
Yeah, from like the time of pre-engagement counseling, we started talking about stuff like that. Speaking of which, if you haven't seen our pre-engagement course information, that course is coming out soon. But
it's coming out next week actually. Our pre-engagement course launches next week on January 17th. And if you're watching this after January 17th, it might be available, so you can go ahead and, you know, get it. So
from that time, I realized that, you know, I need to put a part of my salary to the Zara maintenance fund.
But guys, hold on, push applause. Xaundre was befuddled.
Yeah,
he couldn't understand. He was like, so why you need money? And he was like, but no, he just couldn't get it. And I was like, well, if you take up a wife, you expect the wife to look good. Wife need to do her hair, wife need to buy clothes, wife need to fix up herself, wife need to maintain herself, and to maintain is not cheap. He likes my hair. My natural hair takes a lot of, so you take up a wife. So when you take up a wife, you take up responsibility. So wife needs to get maintenance.
Yeah, and Pastor was just like, yes. If you agree, drop it in the chat. Say man fi take care of woman.
Or men should take care of their woman in English. No, guys, it was a whole debate in Xaundre was like, he couldn't understand. And I was like, it is your responsibility.
In my mind, alright, if you're not working, sure, I give you some money. But if you are working and I am working, why do I take a portion of my money and give to you?
Because you want wife. Also, asked a lot of people about it, and it was interesting to hear the responses. What happens when the man makes less than the woman? Well, right now Xaundre makes more than me. So, but what happens? What happens if the wife makes more? Does the wife now give the guy maintenance?
So to be honest, I don't have a prefab answer for this question, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give
something that you don't
candid response on something I have never thoroughly
that's fair.
Thoroughly explored.
Would love to hear your opinions on that.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. But anyway, so what we actually end up doing is that I contribute considerably more, and there's a portion that gets subtracted out of what I contribute that she no longer sends over from her account, so that it stays in her account, so that it's like my contribution to her. So but basically the back end of it is we don't want to send the money to send it back.
Yeah, so you don't give me a stipend per se.
Yeah, so I don't give her a stipend.
I contribute less to the household, so I have more money to spend on the maintenance of Zara.
There we go.
Why forget money? Yeah, any man I watch this, why forget money? If you can't afford, the better must come. This is a non-discriminatory vlog.
It's so important to establish that we're doing this at the start of our careers, when the amount of disposable income is still quite meager. I mean, we anticipate that it will get...
Zara will always need to be maintained.
Exactly. And as it gets bigger, then her maintenance fund will now, you know, pull a little bit more weight, and she will get even more money towards her maintenance fund.
And that's what I mean. Yeah. I think I said, maintenance, go on.
No, man. And so it will continue to happen, and it will get even bigger and better as we move forward.
There we go.
But it's important that you kind of put it in place from early, so that later on it don't become an issue, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, as you hear me guys talking about maintenance, but I don't do a lot. You know, the most I do, I maybe go do like my nails or something. You know, go to get a pedicure. I don't do a lot, to be honest. And buy hair products. I'm not very extra, so I make your life. Hey, some girl, one day I'll put on Instagram how much ladies are spending on maintenance, and the girls, like the real hot girls, are spending like 50 grand a month, Jamaican dollars, which is like 300 or something, 300 or 350 US dollars to do maintenance, because they have to do waxing, and they have to do their hair, their nails, their lashes. Some people do laser, some people get a massage. It's a whole thing.
My maintenance is to go to the barber once a month, you understand?
It's so easy for you.
We should mention though that even though this is the framework within which we operate, we're still kind of fluid.
Yeah.
So let's say that one entity requires, you know, cash flow. It's not unlike us to say, all right, send some money from my account, or say, but we still have a framework that we work.
Hi XYZ fam, my name is Vestrisha Llewellyn Richards, and I'm currently joining you from the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But I'm also sending you warm greetings from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If you like this kind of content, I ask you to smash the like button and subscribe so you can be a part of the XYZ family. I'm inviting you to come along with us. Love you guys. Wishing you the best for 2023 and beyond.
Okay.
All right. So the money that's left in our operational fund,
yeah, what
happens to it? And I guess that's the crux of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So this is the XYZ operational budget. So first thing that comes out of it, because remember we've already tithed.
Yeah.
So the first thing that comes out of it is our mandatory investment. It goes to a managed fund that we have with a local brokerage here in Jamaica. And we've been sending money to that consistently for a couple of months now. We have a big expenditure coming up, so we have shunted some money away from that to the other expenditure that we'll tell you guys about in the not too distant future.
For sure.
But that mandatory fund is what we call our nest egg, or paying it forward, or some people say pay yourself. That is what we pay ourselves.
And this is our joint investment.
That's our joint investment. And then our money for utilities comes out, and our grocery shopping money comes out. Twice per week we go to the grocery store. Twice per month we go to the grocery store to do like proper shopping.
Yeah.
Other times if I just stop there and grab something, it just comes out of my account just because I have my card. And yeah. We have an entertainment fund, so that's what we use for date night. So when we go out and we're spending money on a good evening out, we don't feel guilty because there's a part of the budget that is for date night entertainment.
Oh, we have a portion of our budget that we also put towards debt reduction. So yeah,
so that comes out of our savings aspect. So all the money that goes towards savings, from there we will take some money and put towards debt reduction. All right, and I guess this is the part where we establish that our operational fund is in JMD, our savings account is in USD. So every month when we go back and we look, if we have a surplus in our operational fund, we don't let it roll over to the next month.
Shift it over to
we shift it over to our savings account in US dollars, so that the money gets tied up in US dollars. It's not in Jamaican dollars for you to just spend it. You're less likely to spend the US dollars, and the US dollars won't depreciate as quickly as the Jamaican dollars will. So we shift it out same time. So when you look in the operational fund, you know that's the money that you have can spend.
Yeah.
Because it is only, you know, the money that you have can spend. You take out all the surplus out of it and put it into savings same time.
And here we're talking about, you know, shifting money here and there. It's not a whole heap of money, people.
It's the principle.
It's the principle, yeah? Because when God can trust you with little, He can trust you with a lot.
Yep.
The scripture goes so. I'm not sure we're fine, but yeah.
And if you're not a faithful steward when you have a little, you won't be a faithful steward when you have a lot, because it's going to look hard to take 10% of your $1 million if you couldn't take 10% of your 100,000.
That is true. Or your 10,000.
So if we come in under budget, or if I happen to have worked too many days that month. Yeah, so if one of those two things happen, right? Sometimes we will see charitable causes that we want to give towards. Most times it's not like an actual official charity, but it's actually people in our lives who we come across who we think, you know, would benefit considerably from our little that we have to give, and we will shunt some money towards that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we've learned when it comes down to managing money as a couple is transparency.
Yeah.
And also vulnerability. Especially as somebody who grew up in a single parent household, and you know, being a child where I saw my mother as very independent and kind of doing things by herself, and also hearing a lot of stories of women who you know, we're disadvantaged, or they give everything to this man and the man know everything, and then in the future the man take advantage of them and leave them and stuff like that. Kind of breaking down those walls, it wasn't easy, guys. I'm telling you the truth. It wasn't easy being open with money for me personally. For Xaundre, it wasn't very difficult.
It wasn't hard.
It's just to be open and vulnerable with somebody who you have to trust, not knowing what the future holds, and breaking that barrier. You know, the fact that I would have personally experienced in my family and with people that I know, and I'm sure a lot of ladies watching this would have said, pinch you and take you one side and say, no, Zara, you can't, you have to have a little account, a secret where your man don't know. But it's like generally spoken about. Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's spoken about because of how people are in society and how many women go through heartbreak. You have people who have been married 30-40 years, and in the 40th year the man decides to say he doesn't want to be with a woman anymore. And then make it even worse, this woman was a stay-at-home woman, stay-at-home mom. Wow. Never had anything, and then she's left on her face. So it is like common sense as a woman to make sure that you have a little thing set aside for yourself, so that if the man decides to change his mind, or if anything should happen to the man, you know, if the accident, you die or whatever, then you have some financial security. And I think for us, it's been transparent and we've been vulnerable, but also for both of us kind of understanding how money works and how money functions. So if, you know, knock on board, if anything's supposed to happen to Xaundre or anything was supposed to happen to me, we both have a general understanding of how money goes. Like nobody, based on how things are set up, nobody can rob anybody, nobody can feel like they're going to be blindsided by anybody. Yeah. And it also, even with that, it facilitates an atmosphere of trust, vulnerability, openness, and also it's independence as well. It's all mixed in. And
true.
You never knew this. You never knew that I kind of had those experiences.
I mean, I knew that you were a lot more reserved and a little bit more closed than where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
From back in the day, I kind of knew that, but I was okay to work it through and kind of figure it out, you know. Yeah. And I've never made a proposition like towards how we set up our finances that she has shut down. Yeah. So I've just been okay with working with it. Yeah, and
I kind of always trust how you deal with stuff like that. So it hasn't been an issue. I trust you, and I trust the setup and everything. And ultimately, when we get married and we trust in God's decision for our life, and we trust that both of us are growing spiritually, we're on a similar path. But, whatever your situation is and whatever your circumstance is, be wise. There are some flags, there are some red flags that you can see in your relationship.
Alright guys, so that's all for this episode. So we'll see you next time on Adventures of XYZ. Bye guys.